Hey, everybody. I want to just say, first off, thank everybody for coming, for joining us on this call. We'll go ahead and jump into it. And then anyone else can join us as we get going. So, first things first, if you all do have any questions or comments, we'll handle all of those at the end. But feel free to go ahead and send those in so that I can make time to address those as we go through everything. Just Mhm. Okay, so first and foremost, again, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us on this call. Uh, with the National Collegiate Entertainers Group, or NCEG, for short. So just a brief introduction of myself. My name is Derek Jackson. I am the founder and CEO, and also program director for the program. Currently have my base of operations inside of the Creative Media Industries Institute, or CMII, at Georgia State University. And, basically have been around with this organization since its very inception. All the way back in 2013. Yep. I always like to show this picture because, this entire organization really just started as a group of students, like many of you all are. And there I am, right there. Um, so back in 2013, we were a group of students who were all looking to find our start in the music industry. And as a result, we started, just asking questions. We formed a group and we're looking to figure out the best way in which we could actually enter into the industry. Some of us were artists, some of us were aspiring managers, A&Rs, the whole nine. So we just started reaching out to people. We started reaching out to different industry professional contacts, different companies. As you can see here, contacting over 700 different people throughout the city and throughout the industry. And that is really the beginning of what we call the PEG experiment. PEG standing for Panther Entertainment Group, being the original, foundation of this organization, from which, the organization gets its name. And long story short, what we learned and what we were told time and time again is that in this industry, experience will beat out education every single time. Skill is something that can be taught. Whereas, many of you who are artists, like we're sure that many of you are talented, but what we're seeking to learn and what we're seeking to figure out is, what does it take for all of us to be able to turn this thing that we love to do, this thing that we're passionate about, into something that's, something that we can make a living off of, something that we can really do, and make the most of during this time where we're here in college. So essentially what we started doing is I'm just creating experiences, creating opportunities for ourselves to learn. So over the course of, those next few years throughout 2015 and 2016, the organization kind of shifted focuses a bit, in the sense where we started doing more showcases, started hosting more events, and started creating a opportunities for ourselves and for the artists who are on campus in order to be able to perform, and really have access to the student body at large. This creates what our organization likes to call the record label effect. So many of you may have noticed that when we're talking about, the idea of there being like a campus record label of some sort, the question is, what does that really mean? Well, in our particular context, it means that we are creating an entity to really stand for the quality that is available within the, the music community on your particular campus, right? So we're creating an entity on all of these campuses that stands as the best of the best, the students who are really designed to take this thing and intending on taking this thing seriously. So you all get to decide who it is that you want to back. And in doing so, you become a trusted voice on your campus. It means that the artists who you choose to back as a group are the artists who will earn all of the recognition, all of the accolades, and you as a professional in this industry begin to gain a deeper insight rather on what it means to really operate and run a label from the ground up, from everything from, discovering the talent to developing the talent to marketing the talent to producing events that surrounds and showcases the talent, all of it. And that is why we call these students who are chosen to be that certified entertainers for the organization. In other words, they're certified by you all, by the student population, by us, really. So in doing that, that's when it kind of clicked for us, right? Like we begin to understand a little bit more about how this industry worked and why it was so unique, right? Like the idea is that many of us aspire to reach these unknown heights, that, maybe a Drake or Beyonce or a Jay-Z or, whoever it is that, that you may deem as like the top of their game. But the fact of the matter remains is that a lot of us, may not get there, but that doesn't stop us from wanting to. That doesn't stop us from trying. So when we really start to think about where else that kind of exists, we had to kind of look at sports, right? When you think about, major athletes, I mean, the situation is much of the same. Here are two entertainers, take LeBron James and, Drake to continue the example. Both of these guys earn millions and both of them inspire people who want to be a lot like them. You know what I mean? And yet they take two very different paths in order to be able to get there. So why is it that as academic institutions especially, why do we have such robust athletic departments? And yet when we're really talking about contemporary music on a college campus, we don't enjoy those same, of support. And basically ultimately our research over the years identified one primary reason: the existence of the NCAA. The NCAA, in 2019 alone, generated $18.9 billion for between all of the schools who are attached to all three divisions of the NCAA. The NCAA creates a system, a pipeline to where if students are interested in sports, then they have, a system where if they start young in elementary, they can play in elementary school, play in middle school, play at a higher level in high school, and get drafted for a college team, or scouted for a college team rather, and then go on to play at the top of the league if their skills are deemed worthy enough. Like at every step, it coincides with the academic institutions that allows the NCAA rather to become a source of funding in the tune of $3.6 billion in scholarships. In that same year of 2019, where 18.9 billion was generated, almost 20% of that goes to being able to support, those athletes and the scholarships, and all of the events and all of the things that enable those students to be able to follow their dreams. Whereas the music industry doesn't have anything like that. It is literally just the community and all of us who are a part of it kind of scrambling to try to piecemeal our way to it. So in order to address this, in 2000, it was really late 2016. I mean, like end of the year 2016. But that means that we started the nonprofit organization, the National Collegiate Entertainers Group, or NCEG, in 2018, when we officially got our 501c3 status and became an official nonprofit organization that is designed for the sole purpose of creating an NCAA for the music industry. And that's where we get to where all of you all are here, right? So the idea is that, we all collectively make up a pipeline for college students to enter the music industry, to be able to teach the business side of the music industry. And for all of us, regardless of what you choose to major in, regardless of what school you choose to go to, we shall band together and form this network, where, in connection with the professionals in the music industry, we will do the work in order to, write our own tickets, in order to build our own fan bases, in order to gain our own experiences and understanding for how the industry works and how to interact and connect with audiences in order to create memorable and lasting experiences. And in doing so, create a whole new infrastructure for how the working population of the industry is discovered. In other words, every single thing that you all will be doing here in college during this time will go into not just a resume that will show on paper, but one that the professionals, that the industry at large will be able to follow from start to finish. This is not something that we're simply talking about starting now. This is very literally what the PEG experiment has been over the course of the last 8+ years. Really, it'll be 9 years this year. But, from countless events to networking with industry professionals to putting students in the role of leadership positions and allowing them to be able to see what they are really capable of, to allow you all to be able to see what you are really capable of. And the results from that speak for themselves. Countless different brand partnerships and endorsements, different opportunities for students to perform, different interactions with different label execs, and students who have gone on to create sustainable careers for themselves. And all of this happened out of an experiment that started, again, on the campus of Georgia State University. So, how exactly does it work, right? So basically, if you know the music industry, even if you don't know anything about the music industry, or maybe this is your first time hearing this, but in the music industry, almost every single person who participates in it is more or less a business owner. An artist, the brand of being an artist, rather, is a business that must be maintained. The manager who maybe manages that artist has a contract with that artist, but that manager may have their own management company or maybe an independent operator of their management company. They are their own business. The producer who's making the music for that artist is a business owner, all the way down to the engineer and the distribution company that gets all of that music out into the world. So when we're talking about how the music industry works, we're talking about the music ecosystem at large, the one where you can have a producer from one country, an artist in another, and an engineer in a totally separate country. And all of those people come together in order to make music from across the world for the world. So in order to teach these concepts at a deeper level, in order to recreate them and make sure that you all as students fully understand them, we essentially recreate that music ecosystem on a college campus. Many of you will notice that if you've chosen a major, maybe you haven't chosen a major, you will find that if you're in the School of Business or the School of Music or the College of Business or the College of Arts and Sciences or hospitality or education or whatever it is that you choose to study, in large part, your studies will have to do exactly with that thing. But in the music industry, you have to know how to work with people across these different disciplines. So we recreate those opportunities by allowing you all to connect and collaborate with students who may be studying totally different fields than you. So maybe a producer in the School of Business, an artist who may be in the School of Music, and an engineer out of the School of Arts and Sciences, and so on and so forth. All of you all across your campus will come together in order to make music and develop artists for your campus. So, in other words, you will be forming an official team to represent your school, to represent the music coming off of your campus. That's what NCEG is. It is a network of all of our different teams in order to represent the best that our school has to offer. The way these organizations are structured, you will have 3 primary leaders: president, vice president, treasurer, as well as 4 department heads under them to handle various roles that you will need to take on as a part of the organization. And then all of the other members fall underneath one of those 4 different department head positions. So this is the ultimate measure of how the organization works, and it creates a system where you can develop specialties, but more importantly, you're developing relationships with people who don't necessarily do the same thing as you, enabling you to understand where your business model fits in the grand scheme of the music ecosystem. Together, you all as an organization will put your seal of approval on anyone seeking to be an artist representing your campus. So again, maybe many of you are artists. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to bring your A game. You know, understand that in this industry, you will need all of these other people in order to help space out a lot of this work. The best artists are the ones who are able to be artists fully, the ones who are able to be and build teams, be a part of teams rather, and build teams who understand how to operate in this business. So in doing so, you want to be able to earn that seal of approval from the people who are just as needed and necessary to make it at the top and make it and to execute at a high level. You want to be able to network with peers who are working in all of these different categories: management, marketing, events, and audio. You want to be able to win all of them over as best as you can in order to build a team that can really allow your artistry to shine through. So in doing so, it is the chapter, the music, the aspiring executives who will be working together in order to find that talent, in order to co-sign those artists, in order to develop that talent on their campus. In doing so, year after year, we've seen the same from all the way to 2013, all the way up until now. You know, you all will form bonds. You will become a team to represent your school. Um, However, you won't be doing this alone. Um, I'm we have I'm sure, as you all can imagine, like, this takes a lot. You know, there are specific processes that we as an organization, as NCEG, are going to walk you through it. And to do that, we've actually developed the NCEG platform, the NCEG app, which is powered by Mighty Networks. Many of you may have already had an opportunity to get on to Mighty Networks. If you haven't, I highly encourage you to do so. But what that platform will actually be used for is, one, for you all to be able to communicate with your own team, but to also seek advice from students who are doing this on other campuses, as well as the advice of the administrators and mentors who will be in these apps, right? So we will come together in order to will execute those plans on your own campuses for the sake of learning the skills that we will be talking about, right? So no more just talking about or looking at YouTube tutorials on how to market music or how to develop or produce an album or how to handle rollouts or how to develop artists. We're going to go 3 steps deeper than that. And we're actually going to walk through it with you all and basically operate multiple case studies over the course of your time on your campus, and actually putting you all in the position where by the time you graduate, you will be experts. In addition to that, for those of you who choose to experiment with leadership, first off, I highly encourage you all to run for chapter leadership. Leaders of the organization and those who are chosen to be leaders by their peers, there will be an election process for that, but those of you who are chosen to be leaders will have an even more finely tuned and specific training process that you will go through, where we will actually teach you all how to lead your chapters to success this year. And all of that shapes up to, what is the thing that I'm absolutely the most excited about, the thing that I think all of you will be the most excited about, because in addition to you all developing your artists, creating events on campus, producing music, and us releasing music, we will actually be conducting the first ever NCEG tournament and fundraiser. This is the opportunity to band together in order to do exactly what we said that we are going to do together. Our goal is to create a scholarship program for aspiring music entrepreneurs all across the country. And it's going to start with just us as students or recent alumni, rather. I was a student when we started this whole process, and the benefits that myself and all of my peers and colleagues have gained from it have been absolutely phenomenal. But now it's time for us to take it to the next level, for us to do something that's going to not just be for you all who are starting your careers with this organization now, but for, generations of students who will come after you. This is our opportunity to launch an event that will raise money for us to actually create this scholarship program and make it real. To be able to one day offer full ride scholarships for any student who shows the potential to be great in this industry. So the way this tournament will work is that each of the teams who are chosen to compete in this tournament will go up in head-to-head matches against another team, another school rather, who is doing the exact same thing. So while you may be on your campus developing your artist, or maybe you're an artist on campus being developed, you will end up at a show where other artists from other schools have come to challenge you, right? This will be a friendly competition designed to raise money, to raise awareness, and ultimately help us reach our goal. So there will be 10 regular season matches where everyone will get a chance to play, I want to say, twice at home and twice on the road. So on the road means that you all will have the opportunity to perform on another school's campus. And the 2 teams that have the best record at the end of the school year will then face off in the championship match, for which, prizes, awards, accolades, whole nine. That being said, this is the moment that we have in order to change the industry forever. It all starts with us. We have to recognize that this isn't a situation, and this industry is not an industry where people are going to offer you any sort of handouts. What we've learned is that it is up to us to create a new frontier for the music industry, a new system, a new process that means that we pave the way not only for ourselves, but for the people who will come after us, for creating a system where it no longer has to be a I win, so you have to lose. To create a new system where no matter what school you go to in this country, no matter what it is that you choose to major, we can all seek to build a business in this industry. So, next steps for anyone who's interested, for anyone who has additional questions, or anyone who even wants to volunteer with us. The first thing that you want to do is hit this QR code, the first QR code here that says sign up. Make sure you're registered, make sure your school is selected. If you don't see your school listed, please choose other. Let us know what school you're coming from, and we'll absolutely look to create a chapter on your campus as well. Next, you want to follow us on Instagram at National CEG. Shoot us a DM if you're interested in volunteering to help, kickstart this thing off and make sure that it's successful on your campus. Go ahead, shoot us DMs, and we can get started with that ASAP. And then the last thing that you want to do is hit this last QR code, which is the fundraiser link. Share this, family, friends, other students who you think that might be interested, to help us raise our goal of $25,000 this year. Again, this money is designed for us to create this scholarship program. Much of the money will, perhaps be raised even during the events, but that doesn't change the fact that we need you all. We need to spark a movement. We need the voices of everyone involved in order to make this as big as it needs to be, to cause a whole new wave in the music industry that will absolutely revolutionize the way people think about how this industry works. So once again, my name is Derek Jackson. I'm so happy that you all have decided to join us. And at this time, let's get to it. All right, so don't see any questions. Let me see. I'm going to stick here for a second to be able to answer any questions that anybody may have. For those of you who may be joining us, especially if you're coming out of Mighty Networks, it may just be something that I'm missing. So what I'm going to do, let me check the... Okay. Once again, if you all have any questions, you can feel free to DM us on Instagram, as well as shoot me a message inside of Mighty Networks. And let's just get started. Thank all y'all for joining. Let's get to work.